Hey there, synth drones. Today we're going to talk about how I make money with synthesizers. Hi, I'm Pure Ambient Drone, and this is my channel where I vlog about synthesizers. If you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button and tap that bell so you can keep up with all of my synth adventures. Well, quite often I do get the question, how are you making money? Are you really making money? How much money do you make? Is it all from synthesizers? Is it all from working on synths? Is it all from making music with synths? How is the money distributed? These are all interesting questions, and it seems like a lot of people they want a easy answer, as if working in music or any business for that matter is like playing the lottery. You just get lucky one day. I'm not saying people don't get lucky in the music business, because obviously we can tell by some of the artists out there, at least I can, that some of them had to be real lucky to get where they are. But I also believe that we create our own luck, okay? So please take note of that. Another thing you need to take note of is there are shortcuts to some things in life, and there are consequences to shortcuts in some things in life. And what I mean by that is, a lot of times I talk with musicians and they're taking shortcuts. And some of these shortcuts, and there's just so many varieties, it's hard to even just start to list what they could be. They don't work out, and they create bigger problems down the road. I'll give you one example, and that is poor gear. Okay, it's okay to have gear that isn't in the tens of thousands of dollars, but it's not okay to have gear that's pumping crap sound, okay, quality sound into your machine, your DAW, or whatever you're recording. A good example would be a cheap audio interface into your computer. I am a strong believer that you should be recording at 24 bits minimum, okay? And I'm not going to get into any of the uh, specifics as to why I believe that. That's just one shortcut that I see people doing. They're buying the cheapest computer, they're buying the cheapest interface, they're buying the cheapest cables, and their music sounds cheap. Okay, and nobody's going to pay for cheap music. All right. When I say nobody, I use that vaguely. I mean, you're not going to make any money producing cheap music. Quality in equals quality out. So, the first thing I have to tell you, if you want to make money with your music, with synthesizers, guitars, drums, whatever you're creating with, you have got to have a quality input, a quality sound that's going into the system first and foremost, okay? A lot of times I see these YouTubers that are self proclaimed experts. They're bedroom producers. I wouldn't even call them that. The internet's filled with people like that. They tell you, this is what you need to do and this is what you don't need to do. And then you listen to their tracks and you're like, oh my gosh, I've been listening to this guy's advice or this lady's advice, whatever the case may be. Please check the sources of who you're listening to, because that's another way you will not make money. Now, see, this video is about making money, but in order to make money, you need to know how to lose money. Because if you're doing some of these things, you're not going to make money. You're going to lose money. Okay. Um, and I'm not being dogmatic about any of this stuff, so please chew this over with a grain of salt and just kind of mull it over in your own application of what I'm saying here. All right. Look, one opinion doesn't fit everybody's. Okay. I'm just talking what works for me and what doesn't work for me. All right. The other thing is, people, they sit around and they produce an album and they become so focused on the album that they become what I call a people pleaser. All right. Uh, when they're producing an album, they're trying in their mind to produce something that they think people want to hear. And they don't understand that they're not developing their own sound. And I went over this in a few videos back. You have to develop your own sound. You have to sound like you. I can't tell you how many times that I've gotten on the social media sites, or the online stores, or the streaming sites, and all of these bedroom producers are trying to sound the same. All right. And it's like you can't tell them apart one from another. And a lot of them really are just real low talent because of that reason. Okay. um, when you try to sound like somebody, you are not becoming unique, and you're not standing out in the crowd. You've got to develop your own sound. People have got to hear what you are doing in an artistic sense. All right. Now, I was watching a commercial or something today, and there was a country singer, producer, songwriter. I don't know who he was. I don't follow country. I apologize for all you country fans out there. I like old school country. But anyway, this person referred to his music as a product. And that's fine if that's what he wants to do. Great. I refer to my music as my art. This is what I love doing. I love doing this, and I want to create something that is an expression of myself. I want you, the listener, to listen to my tracks and walk away with a piece of me in your heart. I know that it sounds mushy and gushy, but I think that that's why God gave us music, is to express ourselves to others. All right. If you are not expressing who you are in your music, then you are already your worst enemy. Because now I'm focusing on making money here. Okay, I know this isn't the answers that you guys wanted, but really, honestly, making money in anything requires skill, and it requires putting something of yourself into it if you want to move to the next level, right? Anybody that has made a successful living at anything will tell you that you've got to pour yourself into something in order to get something extra out of it that other people are not getting. That's why you can take 100 people who are making music, and maybe only one or two of them are actually making money at it, because those one or two people are making sacrifices that the other 99 or 98 aren't willing to do. Okay? So you have got to sacrifice a piece of yourself. You have got to set goals that you know you can't reach right now, but you know are not impossible to reach later. You've got to look at people who've already reached those goals and say, look, I'm not there where they are now, but they used to be where I am right now, and they got there. So if they can do it, I can do it. All right? Because if you're capable of learning, then you're capable of growing. And if you're capable of growing, then you are capable of moving up. Again, I know this isn't the answer people want to hear. They want to hear some kind of magic formula. The other thing, if you want to make money with music or anything, okay, but we're focusing on music, you really got to work hard. You've got to work hard. You got to be thinking about this stuff. You got to be doing this stuff, and and you got to be promoting yourself. No one is going to get on the internet and buy your music and say, "Hey, I think I'll give this guy a contract." That may happen. All right, but I mean, unless you're on a level up there that is just phenomenal, that's not going to happen, right? You're going to have to push some doors open, right? I'm not saying that never has happened. I'm not saying that never, ever, ever could happen. But let's be reasonable. Most of us really have to push some doors in order to get inside, right? So you're going to have to work really hard to crack some doors open and get your feet in there. You're going to have to promote yourself, and you're going to have to be extremely humble when you're doing this, because I'm telling you, the biggest turnoff for musicians, and I hate this. I'm not going to name the music store, but there's a music store around here that when you walk in there, the musicians, they're all musicians that work there, they are so freaking stuck on themselves that you can't ask them a question without the arrogance pouring out of their mouth first. And if you know a partial answer to your question and you try to explain some of it to them, their arrogance is off the chart and they don't want to hear it. They're unlearnable, or excuse me, they're unteachable, I should say. You've got to be teachable, and the only way you can learn is you got to be humble. And the other thing is, humbleness will bring to you, this is really important, it will bring to you the acceptance of failure. You have got to accept that your goals are not always reachable in the time frame that you wanted them to be. An example would be, you say today, by this time next year, I want to sell X amount of tracks. And, by 2020, that hasn't happened. And if you're not a humble person that can accept that, then you're one of these jokers that are going to walk around and going, people just don't appreciate who I am. People just don't understand my music. It's not me, it's them. Man, they're so blessed to listen to my music. They're so honored to listen to my music. I'm just not going to do anything else for them. The listener just doesn't get me. I've known musicians like that, okay? And I got to tell you, they're their worst enemies. You've got to be humble. You got to say, you know what? I'm not doing everything I can to reach the target that I've set for myself. All right? Now, here's the thing. I had this guy let me shoot a bow and arrow once. I never shot a bow and arrow before this time. And this guy, he made it look easy, man. He could just hit that bullseye from so far away, I could barely see the target. This guy was incredible. And there I am aiming straight for that target, and I missed it every time. You know what he told me? He said, you got to arch the bow up. I mean, I couldn't even hit the target, right? And I kept falling short. He said, you got to arch the bow. I said, what? I don't understand that. Shouldn't you aim straight? Because this isn't a firearm. This isn't a gun that shoots straight. This is a bow and arrow. You have to aim up and let the arrow arch, and it will come back down, and it will hit its mark. You see, sometimes you have to find another angle to sell yourself. And let's be honest, making the music is only part of the journey. You've got to sell yourself. And you know why a lot of people don't sell themselves? You want to know the number one reason why people fail making money at their own music? Because they don't sell themselves. That's the reason. But the reason why they don't sell themselves is the real reason as to why they're failing. And that is, they don't believe in themselves. There's a point in time where we just feel like we're not moving quick enough. We're not getting enough reward. And then we start beating ourselves up and we say, well, no wonder I suck at this, man. I just suck. Let me tell you what, if one person will buy one of your tracks, okay, if one person has ever bought any of your music, then you can find another one, another person. What, you think there's only one person in the world that wants to buy your music? If one person is willing to buy your music, then there's two people willing. And if there's two people willing, there's three people. Your job as a self-promoter is to find those people. That's what record companies do. Record companies take a great artist, a person who knows what they're doing, and they produce the music with them, and then they find the market for it. They know that there's money out there. You just got to dig for gold. But a lot of artists don't dig for gold. They just make an album, release it, and go, I think I'll just share this with my friends. my family, my loved ones. My wife will buy a couple of copies. My husband will buy a couple of copies. Okay, then what? What happens? You release an album and you go back into the studio and you start producing more music that you're not going to sell. The last one didn't sell. Why should this one? Well, I'll just get CD Baby or the other guys, TuneCore to release my music. I'll just join one of those and they'll put it all over the world. So there's tens of thousands of millions of tracks out there. People are going to find your music because you released it. Those people aren't promoting you. You might end up on the top of a list somewhere, when they first release, the new music list. Somebody might find you on there. But after about a week or two, maybe 3, I'd give it a month. Okay, I'll be generous. Who's going to hear about your music then? If you don't believe in what you're doing, why are you doing it? You have to believe in yourself before anybody else is going to believe in you. I always tell people no one's going to follow anybody if that person who's wanting to be followed doesn't know where they're going. Do you know where you're going? Because that's another way not to make money. Now see, the title of this video is how to make money. And the way you make money is by knowing how not to make money. Are you making these mistakes? So let's talk about making some money here. Let's talk about one of the ingredients, like I said, is hard work. You've got to bust your butt in this business. You've got to be willing to get up every day and work. And you have got to have, for me, I got to have a day off every week. I've got to take a day of rest. I've got to take a day off. I got to have a whole day to where I just be me and I can do whatever I want to do. And I am so energized on Monday morning, pow, because my day off is Sunday. Now, hard work, everybody knows that. This isn't the lottery. If you want to get lucky, play the lottery. And I don't even play that because I think your odds are even worse than the lottery, okay? Because that's just all chance. But music isn't chance. Music is a part of us, and we put it out there. And if you believe enough to sit in the studio for hours producing this stuff, why don't you believe enough to put it out there in front of people's faces? What, are you afraid of rejection? So that brings me to point number 2 here, and that is rejection can make you money. Because if you listen to rejection, if you listen to why people are not buying your music, if you can find out why they're not buying it, you can fix the problem. I had a tire that went flat on me last month, and I took it down to the shop to get it repaired, and the guy said, I can't find the problem, so I can't fix the tire. I cannot find a hole in your tire, so I cannot fix it. I take the car back home, and 2 days, 3 days later, it goes flat again. I take it back to the same guy, and, he's not charging me for this. He's looking for it. I'm watching him. I'm helping him look for it. We can't find the hole. Every time it gets cold, the tire goes down. We can't find the problem. We can't fix it. You've got to be willing to accept rejection, find the problem, and repair it if you want to make money. Now, the ABCs of selling, they say, is always be selling. You should be telling everybody about your music. If you have to, get some business cards with your website up, right? Get yourself a stage name that's easy to remember. Get your friends talking about you on social media. Get people sending links. Work hard. That's the number one thing I can share with you today. And you know what else? Don't ever give up. If this is what you want to do, if this is your dream, keep on keeping on, because I'm going to tell you what, nobody is going to do it for you. Now, there's this other syndrome that people run into, and they say things like, well, one day I'll meet up with somebody and they'll teach me everything I need to know. Why would anybody want to do that? Personally, I don't want to join with anybody that I've got to teach. I want to join somebody that can teach me. I mean, that's just how I feel. Now, that may sound selfish, but this is a business too, right? I mean, we got to put bread and butter on the table. So the point that I'm making is quit waiting around for somebody else to come save you. If there's 2 people in the water and there's no life rafts and there's no life jackets, do you think the other person is going to help you swim until rescue comes? There's going to come a point in time where both of you are treading your own water. And that's how it is in music. We have to tread for ourselves. We can't wait around for someone to come and rescue us. We can't wait around until, oh, hey, I want this guy to collaborate with me. I get a lot of emails. Hey, can we do a track together? Can we do this? Can we do that? I don't have the time. Successful people are not going to have the time to bring along somebody in all cases, okay? Talking very vaguely here. We're not talking about in a dogmatic view here. Now, equipment quality does matter. And what I mean by that is your stuff's got to be working, right? Equipment quality works best when we know what we're buying. So another way to make some money in the music business is by saving money, right? I tell people all the time, be careful what you buy, because you may not need it, and you may be wasting your money, and you could be losing it on a resale on eBay or Reverb.com or wherever else you're selling at Craigslist. It don't matter. You could be losing money. You're certainly losing time, stress, and effort. I hate selling stuff. I try to keep everything I have. Have I sold stuff in the past? Yes. Have I regretted it? Yes. Has it cost me more money? Yes. And I'm very careful about what I buy now. Very careful. I always thought I was careful before, and I'm thinking I'm carefuler now. But you know what? I'm very, very careful. And maybe this time next year, I'll be even more careful. Do I make money with my synthesizers? Yes. Do I make a living with it? Yes. Was it handed to me? No. I'm going to bring you to my last point. And I know there's so many more, so if you guys got other points, please share them in the comments, okay? If something works for you. But the number one thing is, if you are a jealous person, knock it off. Jealousy is ugly. If you're one of these people that look around in a studio such as mine or anybody else's, and you go, "Oh man, I'm gonna put a mean comment down," knock it off. That's idiocy. Jealousy is an ugly, ugly emotional response to what other people have. You want something? Go out and work for it. Don't sit here and blame others for what they got that you don't have. The reason why that's important is because it will always hold you back. You will always be wanting what other people got, and you'll never be happy with what you already have. And if you're not happy with what you already got, you won't use what you have to the fullest extent. You'll always be looking at somebody else's stuff, and you'll always be taking for granted what you have already. And you know what? People that are jealous, they never seem to acquire much or keep much because they don't appreciate anything but what they don't have. I'm sorry if I'm beating up on you because you're a jealous person, but jealousy is just an ugly emotion, and it is counterproductive. When you see someone who's more successful than you, man, embrace that person. Get to know that person. Because isn't that who you want to be? Isn't that what you want to be? You want to be successful? I'm not saying you want to be another person, don't get me wrong. But if you admire somebody instead of hate somebody for their success, guess what? You'll spend more energy being creative and learning than you ever would have, right? Being productive by being jealous. Jealousy robs us of productivity. Jealousy robs us of creativity. So if you want to make money, you better get out of that jealous rut. If that's you, I'm talking to you, okay? Anyway, there's all kinds of ways to make money. And like I said, what you got to do is you got to work hard. Now, my last point, I know that other one was my last point, but I just thought of something else. Release your music, all right? Get your music out there and promote it. It don't matter if you use CD Baby, TuneCore. I use a combination of 3 different services, okay? And they all make me money. They all make me money, all right? So promote your stuff out there, work really hard. Don't be jealous of people. Get good quality sound into your DAWs. And you know what? Keep working at it. Keep working at it. I want to thank you for watching my video here today. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And I know some of you are thinking, well, this doesn't help me. Listen to the video again. Listen to the video game. No video again. Nobody is going to hand you anything for free. If that is your attitude, if that is what you are looking for in the music business, leave now, because you are going to be very disappointed and you're going to spend a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of heartache getting nowhere for a long time. If that's what you want, give it up. Now, I'm just talking about those who want to have a free ride in this, okay? And here's the other thing. Stop listening to these fools out there that are making terrible tracks, that are making a mockery of the artistry, okay? Some of these bedroom producers, they can't even pay their rent, and they're on YouTube telling you how to do things. How to do things. Man. I see these people out there and I'm like, why do people listen to these people that don't know what they're doing? The best way to get worse at something, to get worse, is to listen to someone who doesn't know what they're doing. You got the blind leading the blind, okay? You want to listen to successful people that are making money in the business. Now, this video is all about making money. If that's not your goal, switch it off, go somewhere else, enjoy the next video you're going to watch. But this video is about making money in the business. I'm not bragging. I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just saying I make a living doing this. It pays for all of my equipment. I don't owe anything on any of this stuff. It's all mine. I paid for it through my music. I worked hard for my music. I don't have a 9 to 5. There you go. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the best producer in the world either. But I'm selling tracks. And there's a lot of people out there hating on that. I know, I get it. Don't be one of them. Anyway, listen. Happy New Year, everybody. And until next time, keep calm and synth on. Leave a comment, subscribe. I love all you guys.